Frank.
Welcome, John.
Hello, Frank.
All right, John.
Nice to see you.
Nice. Thank you.
Just came to see you after the VE day. It was really great. Thank you for what you did.
Yeah, smashing day, wasn't it?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, lovely day.
Just take this thing off and then come and join you.
Right. Yeah, nice day today as well.
Frank, I really enjoyed the other day at down in on the village, the VE day.
Mm.
How was it all put together? Because you were very involved.
It was a fantastic day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it as well. And the number of people that came was really fantastic. I thought from the very elderly to the very young.
That's right.
As a parish council, we were approached by the British Legion.
Right.
And I think that they approached nearly every parish in this area, asking them if they would do something for VE Day.
Right.
And depending on how enthusiastic the parish council were, I think most of them did something. But I thought ours was a bit special.
How did you put together the? Because there were a lot of people involved, weren't there?
Oh yes. Yes. David Smallridge, as the chairman of the parish council, he formed a working committee, and they had several meetings, a number of which I didn't attend because my special duties was to arrange for the building of the bonfire.
Right.
And it's always a busy time of the year for us, and I don't know that I wanted to get involved in
Too much.
Deciding what was going in the sandwiches and that sort of thing. So quite often when I'd done my little bit, I left them to it.
Yeah. When you built the bonfire, it must take a lot of. Was it flax or hay or straw? Or?
Yeah, this was a bit special because years ago it was traditionally made of all faggot wood. But when they asked me about it in the first beginning, I thought to myself, my goodness me, I'm going to have an awful job to get people to cut enough faggots for it.
Yes.
And during my travels in the winter, I'd been noticing these bales of flax left out in the field, and I got hold of the owner, and apparently the firm that deals with the flax had got miles too much this year and they weren't going to collect it.
Yeah.
So I got in touch with him to find out how much he would sell them to me for. And he kindly said that if I wanted them for a bonfire on VE Day, that I could help myself as long as I came after them, I could have them for nothing.
The same with linseed. You have a bale of linseed and you set fire, say a round bale of linseed, you set fire to, you won't get within about 20 foot of them. Won't it? No. Pick this up with his, whatever you call it. Yeah. Make it look like a marginalised sweating bucket. Go and get a bucket of water, will it? Yeah, well, Iron Man said they'll be alright in there. When he lower matter, huh? You haven't got it on that slow moving, have you? So
no, I'm going to speed it up a bit just to make it look normal.
Oh. They always think on their own movie, they always seem to be running, don't they? When you see them, don't they? Oh, Mr. Chapman, we waited till he got up there. Oh, and now we'll move, man. Fred Dimple up in Bolton. Have you seen that one? Oh, the stable jack. Yeah, when he takes his steam engine right through the centre of Bolton. Yeah. Yeah, but he taxed and insured it, didn't it? Yeah, with a television camera with it. What was it? With about three trailers behind it, wasn't it? Oh yeah. Push him up over the end a bit. Long road. Lot extra long load, we laugh. Hey. But it was me the car, he wouldn't want to pass in, Harry, would it? There's an old yarlock, Mr. Chaplain. There, right there. I said, Billy Rabbit don't bolt out. I'm sure. Yeah, once he don't flip out of the hole. He won't flip out the hole. Oh, pinch of stick, you know.
I don't use these great long ones too, are
Be slow, so we're working like hell, we be. We're good. You know, but there was some went on the road this morning.
Put the soybean out the way because before they start growing.
Want to pump?
Right.
What the faggots in the oars? What you're leaving me?
That's right. Laying around the pulse to start. What we got?
other side.
I don't know why I haven't got in here.
Put them down a bit there. While they pick up some food and hopefully won't burn out again.
You know what I mean?
How do you load these your packets, Michael? 1v1?
Where do you want? There, Mr. Thorne?
Yeah, right on there, right on tight you can.
That way a bit.
That's it.
Go. Down there, Dave. Let me go. Up now. Steady, steady, steady. That's it. Go on.
Go back a bit, Dave. It's pushing up there a bit.
Well, I thought that's what you were going to do to tidy it up. See, make it like a fire.
Yeah.
It's like who do it now, isn't it? I only come up for the boo, Mr. Thorne, in there.
Every man to his job.
Yeah.
Got Peter. Oh, a bit of black one, yeah. Black Thorne, you're on. Good day. Lovely red in there.
Put a bale in there and there, another packet down there where your foot is, eh, Mr. Thorne, there.
Yeah, you want what I'm looking
And
at.
then push the bale in. Right.
I want to move the tractor. Fine movie. Well, everybody's busy here for a minute. We'll put in one more flannel one if you've got one. Right on the corner and then let's get David to push it inside.
Dave, I've got to get a flag up. If I would have been out there old enough.
Could be yours, could be Annie, one of them, because long ones are yeah.
Putting that door,
Putting in the bottom lot.
that's right.
Take out a good one and then we can stack. That's it, Dave. There you are.
But what I was saying was take out the good ones. We want to go there. It's been right around now. Have we?
Oh, we're back again now.
Right.
They're all ready to, aren't you?
Hang on, I got it.
Service, because it was, one didn't want to glorify war, one wanted to pray for peace, but also we want to remember with thankfulness to God those who had given their lives so that we could be free.
That's right.
One or two people actually, some who were there this morning, didn't come because it's too painful still for them to remember.
Yes, yes. It is a painful memory for some. It's got to be. And of course, it raises an awful lot of nostalgia in all the people that can remember it.
That's right.
And there's lots of things that have been on television that have brought tears to my eyes.
Yes, yes.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I've been listening to Radio Devon this week, and there's been a lot of debate about whether today or this weekend ought to be a celebration weekend. Probably you've all been listening as well. It's been tremendous to watch some of the things that have been happening. My mother kindly taped for me this morning the service from St Paul's Cathedral. I'm looking forward to watching that later on. But we did catch a little bit of the events in Hyde Park this afternoon. It's wonderful to have the opportunity, in a sense, to celebrate the end of war, but also to think of those who still suffer as a result of war. Many younger people didn't seem to know what it was all about in any case. One child who asked who Winston Churchill was said he was an insurance salesman. It's very interesting the different thoughts that this particular 50th anniversary, probably the last one in the sense that we shall celebrate in this way certainly, will bring into all of our hearts and minds. Many of you who are older than myself will remember clearly the events of that D-Day and the events of the war itself. We need to perhaps, and here I speak with deference because I'm a different generation to those who went through the war, to remember today in repentance, with resolve to seek reconciliation between man and man, to fight against injustice as the war did. But today also, as on our official Remembrance Sunday in November, we remember those who have died, those who are injured, those who are still suffering, their families and friends. A little statistic that I picked up in 1940, just shortly after the war had begun, there were some 3,400 families receiving state pensions because members of their family had died. Pensions, war pensions. But by 1945, that number had risen to 645,000 in England. Some measure of the suffering that war caused in our own nation, let alone in the other nations involved in the war and today throughout the world. But we also have to remember that picture that you can see as you go out of the church of the return home. Hector, welcome home at the end of the war. Just a little phrase here from a chaplain. I thought it was well worth reading out. His name was the Reverend George Chapman Potts, and he wrote home from Belsen to his wife Dorothy on the 25th of April 1945. One remembers the British Tommy standing guard at the heart of that hell. and working like a Trojan among the dying, the dead, the sick, the living. How can one ever forget him? If one speaks to him, he replies softly. He cannot quite trust himself to speak. He is quiet, but in his heart is a burning white flame which will never go out. Lovely hymn number 212, To be a pilgrim, who would true valour see, let him come hither. 212.
Ivan put together a lovely sort of memory of those who died in the war, didn't he?
Oh yes.
Even the photos of.
Yes.
Was it the 5?
That's right. Yes.
Who were the 5 now?
Tommy Alford I knew very well. In fact, he used to work right here at Hillside.
Did he?
I didn't know the Turpitts boys, but I understand that they came from Lake. Their father used to work for George Smallridge.
Because there's a memorial to one of the Turpitt boys, the RAF one, isn't there, in the back of the church?
Yes, well there was 2, I understand.
Oh, 2. Oh, right.
I think there was 2
There's one
that lost their lives. Who else was there? Oh, this John Williams from West Lodge. And George Harvey.
George, oh, right.
Yeah, George Harvey. I think he was in the Navy before the war.
Right.
And his father was a farmer just up the road here at Collibeer,
Right.
well opposite where Ivan lives.
Oh, really? And I certainly met a family from Bideford, and they said there was nothing, anything any good over that way.
No,
and they'd
no.
heard about this, and they came and...
That's right.
How many were you expecting?
I think they catered for the Women's Institute, did all the catering, of course, and I think they were talking about 500 people.
Must have been a lot more than that, I should think.
Well,
wasn't it?
the estimates are that it's probably between 800 and 1,000. So they did well to cater for all those, didn't they, from the very beginning to the very end.
The door of Village Hall will be open 9 o'clock.
We don't like being watched. We don't like.
And that's all yours. You've not had a beat from me. We'll have to see.
Have a see if your line's ready straight to Christine.
It's getting better. Practice makes perfect.
You know, sort of football and and bowling and
Yes, yes. I think the kids were playing football. They must have got in touch with several teams around, and they had a knockout game in that new little strip of football ground at the top.
It's a nice one, that, isn't
That
it?
was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kids had their sport, and probably the school teachers arranged for them to do the maypole.
That was lovely.
Yeah.
And they're lovely traction engines as well, aren't they?
Yes, yes, that was to do with the Smallridges arranging it with their men.
Right.
David Chambrick brought his steam engine down there with a trailer to give them rides in.
Oh, that was the one doing the rides on the
That's
field.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. And then he got about 40 kids on the end of the long rope trying to pull the steam engine backwards. I was quite amused really, because in about 20 years' time they'll swear and declare that they pulled the engine
No, they won,
backwards.
yes. Who actually won for the record?
Well, I expect David allowed them to pull it backwards.
Yeah, yes.